Welcome, everyone, to Mid-Missouri Art News. Your host, Rick J., sponsored by the Jefferson City Art Club. Be with you here with a couple special guests, two special guests, glass fusing artist, Andy we call her, Cleeton, a member, active volunteer, and the spokesperson today for the 113th year-old Jefferson City Art Club. And I'm honored to also visit with Jackie Berry, a quilt fabric artist. And we'll get into just what that means in a few moments. Both playing a large role in the community in and around the capital city of Jefferson City, Missouri. Well, I turn now to greet Andy Cleeton on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club and JCTV, Mid-Missouri Art News. Andy, could you please tell us a little bit about the highlights of your life and what best describes Andy?
Wow. I'd say probably I'm pretty curious about life and things in general. And I started out in Kirksville, Missouri, and I came to Jefferson City in 1987. I worked for the state in the child welfare system. And I did some training there for social workers and retired in 2010 and decided I just needed to be able to spend time with my glass and my families and do some traveling, and really wanted to be able to explore the glass world a little more in depth.
Well, it sounds very interesting. I know I'm excited about hearing more about this glass fusion. It really kind of sounds awesome, doesn't it? Well, can you share with us when or how you first became inspired as an artist, should we say, into the glass fusion artistic world?
Yeah, I've always been interested in art and in looking at things from different perspectives, and I happened to catch a TV show on people's hobbies and saw a woman fusing glass and decided I'd like to give that a try. And so I found a lady in California, Missouri, who was giving lessons at the time. And my first class, I was hooked. I purchased a kiln from them that day, and I've just been continuing with trying to learn more about it and expand my knowledge, and I'm up to 4 kilns now, so.
Oh my, 4 kilns, you're a busy lady. My, that sounds great. Well, now I'm going to get into it a little bit deeper by asking you, can you share what your favorite mediums, I guess, of glass, and also your subject matter? You'd have to have some type of subject matter. I mean, there's all types of different shapes, I'm sure. Just what interests you as far as your mediums, the types of glass that you'd like to share with us when you're working on a project?
The main thing, I believe, is the colors. Glass is just so vibrant, and the way that it plays with light, and with fusing glass, you can combine colors, you can overlap them and create new colors. And so I think that's probably one of the things that's most exciting for me. Fused glass is its own kind of glass. You can't combine different types of glass. So I couldn't take broken water glass and use that in my work. It has to be a particular, have a particular what's called a coefficient of expansion with that.
So your glass has to be somewhat compatible? Would that be a good word?
Yes.
You just can't melt down a Coca-Cola glass and fuse it to a drinking glass?
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes. You could melt down a Coca-Cola bottle, but then you just have to leave it alone. You can't add anything to it.
And have anything else you want to educate us on?
Well, I've been really excited about working in different forms of glass. As you talked about it, I can get my glass in sheets of glass or in powdered form, or it's called frit, and it's little broken pieces of glass, and it comes anywhere from powdered to fine to coarse to mosaic. And so there's just all kinds of different ways that you can get glass. One of my favorite ways recently is something called vitrograph, where you melt glass in a kiln that has a hole in the bottom, and as the glass melts out the bottom, you can grab it with tongs and shape it and twist it and coil it and all kinds of things. And so there's some very interesting things that I've been playing with
Well, it
that.
sounds like a lot of fun.
It really is.
You know, Andy or Andrea, you was a presenter at a meeting at the Jefferson City Art Club and received really a great response. I know
Oh,
I
I'm
was
so
impressed
glad.
at the meeting. From those people on hand, we really enjoyed it. Can you highlight, as your memory serves you, can you highlight that meeting? Was there anything that you really pulled from it? I know he was really happy he was a presenter at that time.
Well, thank you. I really enjoy doing that. I think it's always special when you can talk with other artists and people who have a similar mindset, I guess. And so it was very nice to be well received by my peers. So
Yes.
yeah, that was.
It seems like we all have a certain art theory, and we can rub elbows, and it still becomes art in one way or another.
That's right.
So I know we really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Well, do you have any projects at this time at a venue that people that are watching could go and view, or where you are on display 24 hours a day, or what have you?
I do. I sell my work at the Village Art Studio, which is, no, that's not true. I sell my art at the Art Bazaar, which is in the old Warwick Village at 1507 East High in Jefferson City. And I make my work at the Village Art Studio. And there are 4 of us there. We have ceramics, art, painting, mixed media, and you can come and take classes. And we have a website that has a calendar, so people can check that out. Also, I have a piece at the Capital Region Medical Center on the 2nd floor there. And lately, the last couple of years, I've been working with the Fountain of Hope project, which is a memorial to cancer patients, and there'll be a fountain next to Safi's and in the little pocket park there downtown. And I'll be doing tile backsplash for that fountain, which will be awareness ribbons in different colors depending on the type of cancer that people are memorializing.
Well, that's very, very honorable. Excuse me. I know I've seen your piece at the hospital, and that is something to be viewed if you folks are there visiting for whatever reason. Would you like to say say a shout out to your associates there where you work?
At the Art Bazaar?
At the Art Bazaar in Night City.
It's a wonderful place. It's a local artist co-op, and we have about 30 different artists there. There's photographers, there's weavers, there's pottery, there's jewelry, there's fused glass, and crochet, just all kinds of different. We have wood carvers, all kinds of different artists. It's a very interesting place, and we're open Tuesday through Saturday.
And it's like a small museum. I mean, it's a treat. You can get lost in there for a good hour. Well, Andy, you're a new member to the Jefferson City Art Club. May I ask you if and how the Jefferson City Art Club has inspired you as an artist or a person, for that matter?
Well, my partner in art, Ann DeRosier, is the one who invited me to join, and it's been a very nice addition to my life. We meet on the 3rd Mondays of each month at 5:30 at the Community Christian Church. And we usually start around 5:30 with some social hour. And that's been really nice to be able to connect with other artists in the community and share their work and talk about, you know, different upcoming events and points of view and new artists. So it's been nice to have that network with other artists.
Yes. Now, for those interested in learning more about Jefferson City Art Club, can you tell, I guess we should invite them to a meeting, as you stated,
Yes.
on the third Monday of each month. And what, can you describe what they would expect when they walk in the door?
Well, it's a pretty welcoming group, and they will probably be welcomed with food because we like to eat. So, like I said, we have a little social hour, and then at 6 o'clock, there's a program by different artists. This month, on the 17th, Hannah Ingmeyer, who is an acrylic artist, will be presenting and sharing her art with us. And then we have a little business meeting afterwards, and
Super,
everybody's
yes.
welcome. Anyone who's involved or interested in art is
It's
welcome.
like a family setting. I know
It
I
is.
enjoy it.
It is.
Now, I understand you also are the featured artist on the Jefferson City Art Club website between the periods of April 10th through May 21st this year. Can you tell us a little bit about the featured artist program on the website?
You know, it's a nice way for artists to become known in the community and to share what they do. And, you know, there's photographs of the work there. It's an honor.
Right. And before we miss it, let's get your website. If you would,
Yes.
please give us your website.
I have a couple that I'd like to share. One is thevillageartstudio.com, and on there they can see the different classes that we offer, and there's a calendar of events, and people can kind of go there and take a look at some of the things that I offer if they might be interested in learning about. And also artbazaarjc.com, and that's BAZAAR is the site for the Art Bazaar. And then the Jefferson City Art Club Missouri.com is where you can go to find out about the art club information.
Super. Well, Andy, on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club, personally, I want to thank you for sharing so much with us here and contributing to Mid-Missouri Art News, JCTV.
Could I tell you about a couple of things that are
Yes.
going on with the art club?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're having the Jefferson City Adult Fine Art exhibit, and that runs until the end of April at the Capitol Arts building on Missouri Boulevard. And also High School Sketch Day, which is over 60-year tradition here in Jeff City, and it's always on the first Monday in May. High school students in both public and parochial schools go out and sketch. Particularly architecture is kind of the theme, and then it's judged and put on display. And that will there'll be a reception on May 3rd for the artists from 3 to 6 at the Capitol Arts Building for that.
Super. Jefferson City Art Club, always active. In fact, today they're painting bowls with KRCG TV, associate here in Missouri. And today and for the next 2 Wednesdays. So if you want to come out and paint a bowl, please do so. Well, after the break, I want to thank you first of all.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Contributed so much. After the break, we meet quilt artist Jackie Berry from Moberly, Missouri, who will amaze you with her ability to turn quilting fabrics into an impressive 3-dimensional piece of artwork. See you after the break.
My mama always said, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get.
Lions, tigers, bears. Oh my!
I could have been a contender.
전에 밑에 그것도 갖고.
밑에 같은.
G morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me back.
You can figure out Jody's gonna move.
Hey, did you tell your parents about us? Let's skip first period together. Did you get all my texts? Is practice over yet? Where are you at? Are you with your friends? That's L-A-A-A-A-M-M-E-E-E. Capital X, lowercase o, capital X, lowercase o.
I love you. JK. I hate you. JK.
Are you ignoring me?
We're in a huge fight right now.
Is this something I did?
I can see your lights on. I'm coming
This
over.
isn't a
What'd you
joke.
dream about? Me? I'm lonely. Holla back. Holla back. Let's try something new. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Do you like this top? So gay.
You know, you really shouldn't say that. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top?
Oh, you are.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome to the second portion of today's show. Thanks for joining us once again. As promised, I would like to now, on behalf of Mid-Missouri Art Dudes and Jefferson City Art Club, I'd like to introduce you to quilt fabric artist Jackie Berry from Moberly, Missouri. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you.
Well, I always start off with the public. Our viewers really like to learn a little bit about each guest. So can you tell us a little about you and the highlights of your life that best describe Jackie Berry?
Well, I was an educator for 44 years. And while during those 44 years, I spent 10 years as a psychology teacher at the high school level, 22 years as a counselor, and then 12 years as a school psychometrist giving IQ tests to the district. I've always loved photography, and I can spend all day out in the woods taking photos of nature. Dragonflies, butterflies, insects, leaves, anything that catches my eye, a good composition, bark, and birds are my favorite, especially birds in flight. And last weekend at our lake house, I got a photo of a North American wood duck and in flight. And I had never realized that they were so beautiful. And of course, there's photographing grandkids. I've been married to my husband for 50 years. He was a science teacher. And we have 2 sons, and we have 5 grandchildren.
Wow. Well, congratulations on the 50. And it's not like you have an extensive background and a lot of interest that I spread among the different fields of interest. I know I love the birds. I have the bird feeders, and I watch them and identify, so I can understand that. Well, now the tough question. Our viewers are probably saying, well, what is quilt art? And I have to share with you real quick before I turn back to Jackie. I met Jackie in Columbia, Missouri at the Boone Slick Trail Quilt Guild. And I saw 2 or 3 of her presentations, quilts, and I thought it was really a brushwork. So I'm going to say, with that in mind, how can that happen, you know, on a quilt? So tell us all about quilt art.
Well, my definition or take on it would be using modern, and we'll talk about some of that, and traditional quilting skills. And you would design and create usually wall quilts rather than bed quilts. And the artist uses their own experiences, imagination, ideas, rather than traditional patterns that you can purchase. And I think that's the main difference, is it's an expression of yourself. And it can be abstract, it can be realistic, and you do use the rules of, or theories, principles of art, composition, color, and negative space, and those type of things.
Exactly. And you have some clips that will be sharing as we visit. Would you like to tell us about a few of those in that segment form?
All right. You asked to bring some photos. I brought one. The first one, you don't have to use commercial fabrics. You can color, paint your own. And the first piece is a painted with, it's called transparent Cetacolor.
I see.
And I knew I was going to do a sunflower, so I painted the fabric, and then I sketched out a design, and using all of the rules, you know, composition.
Perspective.
And, and then a quilt is 3 layers, whether it's traditional or modern. You have your backing, your batting, and your top. And most art quilters will do what they call free motion quilting. Rather than having someone quilt it, you decide what you want in that negative space.
I see.
And then you put your 3 layers together under your quilt, and you use that needle like you would a pencil. You move that fabric to get that design. And I think on this particular quilt, I had used another sunflower out there and some leaves.
I see.
So that's one technique. You don't have to use paint. Some artists use proceum dyes. And the next example is of my granddaughter, who was just actually a few hours old. And I had used proceum dyes to paint what I wanted. And that's called a whole cloth quilt. And it's one piece of fabric, and you're not doing any stitching. Quilt artists use so many different techniques. They can use shells, threads, wire. The next one, I had used some threads and some yarn to weave to make a 3-dimensional nest for my Mama Robin's babies. And then my favorite, though, is fabric, my favorite material. And the next one is of my grandson. He loves to pose for me.
Super.
And he did a pose all on his own, looked like a little angel. And I named it Nana's Little Angel, ? Because he isn't always that way. But I use various different shades of fabric like a painter would to give it depth and shading. And then in the lower corner is a photo where he's not quite such an angel.
I see.
And it's printed on silk organza. And then on the back, if you raise it up, there's also some photos, because you can also print on plain cotton fabric that show that aspect of him not being quite such an angel.
Now in these clips, of course, we're not viewing them at the point that we edited in. My favorite piece, and I viewed this piece, I was recently with the Paul Pepper Show as a guest, and I saw to my right a featured stork or a crane. Your crane is one of the best examples of quilt art, and I just was amazed. So I hope the viewers will take a look and check them out. And give us a call, let you know if you enjoyed what you see. Well, Jackie, can you give us an idea of the viewers, your next venue or the dates that you might have a presentation where they can view them eyeball to quilt?
Actually, my husband and I have just sold our tent business that we've run for the last 15 years, and I haven't done anything in the last 4 or 5 months other than imagine what I want to do next.
I see.
But I meet with a lady, 12 ladies. We meet once a month, and we explore different art techniques, quilting techniques, and we begin challenging one another. And our last challenge was to use a particular fabric. It was turquoise, and we had to come up with an image of ourselves that we wanted to express. And mine was, of course, a bird, a little snowy egret, and it's going to be shown for the next 6 months at a national show.
Excellent.
Pennsylvania, I think New Jersey, California, different places like that.
Super, super. I know you've become quite, shall we say, recognized United States wide with your art. And I'm really happy about that, to see that now that you are spreading out. Well, let's see, before we run out of time, could you share your website, your email address, phone number, where you would receive any type of comment or what have you, or viewing of your work?
My grandson told me, he said, Grandma, you have to have a website. I'll make you one. And it's a simple one, JackieQuilts.com. And on there, of course, is my email address. And it has a short clip. And then if you click on the galleries, I have 2 of them, one for my photography and one for my art quilts. And one of them that we've shown today, the dyed piece of my granddaughter, is explained in detail. And I haven't had a lot of time to work on that website, but I think I have about 5 quilts that I've shown the process if somebody else wanted to do something like that.
So it's a work in progress. And all websites seems to be a work in process, especially if you try to keep them updated. Well, do you have anything else you would like to share before we close?
If anyone's interested, not in just art quilts, but any type of quilting, I know, for example, the Boonslick Trail Quilters Guild has special interest, and that's a good way to learn from other people, to share, to get opinions. So that's a good way to, I think, to learn more about your art.
Yes, well, thank you, thank you. Well, once again, Jackie, on behalf of the Jefferson City Art Club, which hopes to bring together all art lovers and enthusiasts in mid-Missouri through this program, I want to thank you sincerely so much for contributing today to Mid-Missouri Art News, making it a learning and informational experience for all. Next featured artist on Mid-Missouri Art News is artist Brendan Province of Jefferson City, Missouri, who is scheduled to appear on the next special featured show we call Spotlight on the Arts. That taping is actually scheduled for next Wednesday, April 19th, so you'll be looking for that one also. Thank you, JCTV, producer Gloria Inlow, and thank you, viewers, for watching sincerely. Look for more Mid-Missouri Art News right here on JCTV, and don't forget YouTube. I'm Rick J. saying, see you next time.